Sorry I've been away. It's been kind of a shitty summer, and it's been a while, and I haven't made a vlog in ages. And I know I'm in a different location, and I'll explain that later, but right now let's talk about some stuff. So let's start with what I've been up to since the marinara video, which I think was the last video I did, and I think I did that in May, I'm not sure. I went to AwesomeCon again. I met Burt Ward, Adam West, and Billy West. Yeah, that was fun. Oh, and Ming Chen. I met Ming Chen from Comic Book Men. That was awesome. I got a selfie with him. That was really fun. And also, Burt Ward and Adam West autographed a comic that I got from Jude. Thanks, Jude. Also, their autographs were hella expensive, like, why? I'm still broke because of that. It's ridiculous. So I've also been doing schoolwork. That's right, I worked over the summer because I'll come clean. I've been telling everyone that I have summer school, like, I don't have summer school. I've been telling everyone that I have school year-round because I'm homeschooled, which isn't technically true. I do have school year-round, but I had school year-round because I was super behind on everything. And I finished most of my classes last Wednesday, actually, the 17th of August, and I still have 2 left, but they're pretty easy classes. So other than that, I haven't really been doing much. Oh, I started playing Dungeons and Dragons with my bros, my homes. Yeah, we only played one real game and one mess. It was a mess. A 14-year-old was stabbed by me, who was supposed to be a lawful good. It was terrible. We're doing the Minds of it's one of the campaigns that comes with the edition 5 starter set for Dungeons and Dragons, so it's that one. You can go watch Pro Jared's playthrough of that. So into more serious matters, it has been a really bad year for people dying. I understand that a lot of celebrities have died, and a lot of, well, not a lot, but a lot of people have in my family, or people that I consider family, have died recently, or in the last few months. In April, we had to fly out to Texas for a funeral for my 27-year-old cousin. It was tough. And then during AwesomeCon, which was the first or second weekend in June, on the Saturday of AwesomeCon, I got a phone call or frantic text message from my mother telling me to call her immediately, so I waited until we got back to our hotel room, me and my dad, and it turned out my grandpa had been admitted to the hospital because he couldn't move, and they had to get an ambulance and drive it around the house trying to get into the house because all the doors were locked, nobody had keys. They couldn't get a hold of my mom because my mother is deaf and she can't hear without her hearing aids, and she wasn't wearing her hearing aids, and she was out bike riding at the time this all happened, so they couldn't get a hold of her until a lot later. So some of the paramedics managed to get in through the kitchen window, I think, and then they got him out of there. They admitted him to the hospital, and he was in the hospital. And so that Sunday we left AwesomeCon and went straight to the hospital, and I saw him, and he was, he was bedridden. He looked like crap, but he looked lucid. He was lucid, and he and I talked about like colleges and stuff because he wanted to get all of that squared away. And then like a week or so later, they put him into rehab. They had him on all sorts of weird drugs, and I went in to see him once with my sister, I think it was once, and we sat down and tried to talk to him, but it was terrible. We couldn't understand each other. I didn't understand what he was saying. He didn't understand what I was saying. I kept trying to tell him, hey Grandpa, I've kind of been eating all the ice cream in your freezer, so sorry about that. Yeah, we couldn't get through to him really, and he was unshaven. He looked terrible. Like a week after that, or maybe not a week, maybe within a few days. Yeah, within a few days of that, they took him to another hospital because he had been having breathing problems. They put him on a respirator or something. It was weird, and my parents went in to see him a lot, and Charlotte and I, my sister, if you don't know, is Charlotte. We went in to see him once, and it was really bad. He had a mask over his face, and he looked bad, like really, really bad. He clearly wasn't comfortable with any of the stuff that they had him hooked up to. He clearly wasn't like feeling well. He was just in a terrible state. A few days after that, my sister was gonna go to VidCon, and she did go to VidCon. She had a lot of fun, but before that, my parents went to drop her off at her friend's house, and they took her to see Grandpa, and I'd stayed at home at this point, but they took her to see Grandpa in the hospital because, you know, we were all like, this is it. So they took her to see him, and then they took her to her friend's house, and within an hour of them leaving Grandpa, I get a call at home from the hospital. They're asking for my father, and I'm like, he's not here right now, and the lady on the other end is choked up, and I'm thinking the worst. So my parents, I managed to text my mom, tell her to call the hospital. She left her phone like on the ground outside of the house that she had dropped my sister off at, and she called the hospital, and she sent me a text message telling me that, yeah, Grandpa died, which I was like, you couldn't think to call me? Well, I get on FaceTime with Charlotte, and she's like, I don't remember, but it was probably really weird for her because she had just seen him, and he had still been alive. So I FaceTimed her. I'm like it took a few minutes for it to like set in, and for me to like start really crying and stuff. I lock up the house and I get in my truck and I drive over to the hospital like in the weirdest state of mind ever. Like I'm trying to focus on driving, but I'm still like I'm tearing up every few seconds. I get to the hospital, nobody dies of car accidents. I get there, my dad's like, you were driving really weird, and we go in. My grandfather's pastor friend was there, and yeah. With that, we got a crap ton of property, including my grandfather's old house. Cue explanation for why I'm in a different location. This is my grandfather's den. They called it the den. I don't know why. It's like a study office type thing. With all of his books. He was really into history and stuff, so like this place is covered in books. And actually I'm looking at a book right now, and it's titled 1776, which I kind of think is funny, because I don't, yeah, okay. And there's a lot of stuff on Martin Luther, because he was an avid Lutheran, and just a lot of stuff on the Revolutionary War and some stuff on the Civil War, but mostly like revolutionary, founding of the country, blah blah blah, that stuff. So with that, we have this entire house that we don't know what to do with, other than hold on to it and help property values go up. Other than that, let's get to a less serious note. I'm working on a web series! Shitty transition, sorry. This web series I'm working on is kind of based off of some Jane Austen novels, like a couple of them. Like 3 off the top of my head I can think of are Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and Northanger Abbey. because I love Northanger Abbey for some reason. Like, I really love it, and Pride and Prejudice and Emma are like classics. Like, if I could throw Sense and Sensibility in there, I would, but I don't know how I can do that with the script I've got going. I know last year around this time I was making promises on a project that I was going to do with some friends, and that fell through, and I will actually explain to you why that happened, because I never gave anyone a definitive, like, what happened. So if you look back into my vlogs, you'll see which book this was supposed to be an adaptation of, but we were working on a film, right? We had a cast together, like the main cast was all together mostly for most of the time that this was like gonna be a thing. And then I contacted the author of the book on Twitter, and she said that because the film rights were actually like available for purchase, she couldn't allow us to make the film and put it on YouTube and stuff. So there was the biggest roadblock for us. And then there was a lack of communication between the production crew and the cast, and that was partly everyone named me and Jude and, yeah, us. Our fault, I guess. I'll take most of the blame, I guess. Then we lost an actor due to school commitments, it was gonna be really hard to replace them, and so it just fell apart. I kind of think though that this project with the web series is not gonna be as huge an undertaking, so it won't be like a huge, like really big commitment for everyone. We can shoot it like we can shoot multiple episodes at a time because it's gonna be set up in a vlog style format like Carmilla, Lizzie Bennet Diaries, Emma Approved, all those literary vlog web series. It's gonna be set up like those, and we wouldn't need as big a budget because it'd be like this. It would be set up like one of these vlogs where you talk to the camera and blah blah blah, all that. So it won't be as huge like need for sets. We won't need that big a cast because I'm only looking at 4 like real cast members right now. We might make that number go up or down depending on what I do with the script and what the plot decides to do. So yeah. I can tell you some of the ideas I have for it right now. So 4 people, mostly. Just 4 people definitively in the cast that I know will be in the cast. Like, of characters, not like, I haven't cast these people yet because I haven't finished writing. So definitely at least 1 guy and 2 girls. Maybe another guy, maybe another girl, maybe a genderqueer person, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm having issues like figuring out what to do with this other character that is like, I think is gonna be important, might not be, might just serve one purpose, but I can't do this without that character. So I don't know if it's gonna be a guy, a girl, genderqueer person, non-binary, I don't know. It honestly just depends on how comfortable actors are with what the story is going to call for. And it might call for some things that certain actors might not be comfortable with. Like, it's gonna be a tame web series, like at the most PG-13, but there's gonna be some elements that some people may not be into, maybe just don't feel comfortable doing it, I don't know. So for number of episodes, I'm thinking at least 30. At least 30, like, I don't know why 30, I have this set image of 30 episodes where you can get the plot done. Yeah, it might be more than 30, it might be less actually. If we can get it done in less, then I don't know. Well, character-wise, I can tell you a little bit about the main character because I have her pretty well sorted out. She's very superficial and very like pushy, and she's kind of mean. She always thinks her heart is like in the right place, which makes her kind of good, but in terms of like what the other characters in the world around her are thinking, she might not be that good. Yeah, that's all I can tell you on that right now. If I get it filmed, if I get it written and I can get like some bit of a cast together, then maybe we'll start filming, maybe not, I don't know. But I will keep you updated-ish. depending on if I remember that cameras exist and YouTube exists. So that's about it for me. This is a really long video. This is gonna be hell to edit. Oh my god. Why can't I just talk short sentences like more normal people? Alright, I'm gonna go now, so bye!